So the first one is helper, right? And the Hebrew word for helper is Ezer, and it literally is translated as helper or help me. So ESV got it right, King James got it right. But here's what I want you to see. One of the best things you can do when you're trying to figure out what a word actually means in the Bible is find out where else that word is used. Now, what I don't want to do is say, well, where else is the word helper used? Because that's just the English translation. What I want to know is where else is this word right here used? And so I'm going to do a search for that. And I showed you how to do that on Bible Hub last week. If you're using Olive Tree, it's pretty user-friendly. You can figure out how to do it there. Let me show you one verse. Here's the word right here, okay? Our soul waits for the Lord. He is our help and our shield. So when David is writing this psalm, this is Psalm 33. When David is writing this psalm, he used the same word, Ezer, to describe who? God. Now, anybody here want to say, God is my assistant? God does whatever I tell him? No. We would actually flip that around, right? We would say, without God's help, I am lost. Without God's help, I am a mess. I cannot survive without God's help. I am in desperate need of God's help. God's help is what gets me through the day, right? That's what's meant by helpmeet in Genesis 2. It's not the woman is the assistant. It's like the woman saves the day. In the same way that God comes into our lives and helps us, that's what Eve was for Adam. Coming into the picture to save the day, to make things right. Now, the next phrase we said is also important. Like, what does it mean that she is fit for him? And so again, here's the Hebrew word. We'll just call it kenegdu, but if you really want to have the fun with it, like if you're actually like, kenegdu. So just lots of fun, right? But the actual meaning of this word here is opposite or suitable. Okay? So opposite is a great word because essentially what we're getting here is we got the man, right? And remember the man is, represented by strength, provider, protector. He's an action-oriented person. He's physical, right? And now what God does is God creates a helper, a partner to complete him. This is the best picture. It's a puzzle, right? And the only way a puzzle works together is if the two pieces are opposite, right? If the two pieces are the same, they don't fit together. And so what God is doing when he creates Eve is he's creating not just a helper, but in some senses a savior. That's lowercase f, right? To save the man from himself. A savior, a rescuer, a completer, so that Adam isn't going to be so lost. Now, if we start here, those questions that we have to answer have a little bit of a different feel. Because now we're not asking the question, what does it look like for men to rule over women? What does it look like for women to be the assistants of men, right? Now we're asking the question, how does this understanding of Genesis 2 impact the way I answer my two questions, right? My two questions are, do women have to submit to men, and can women be pastors?